Gentlemen and ladies, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whenever you guys are listening to this and whenever you guys are watching this. It was time for me to switch up that intro for a little bit. I'm not sure if that was good or not. It doesn't matter because you're here with me, you're here with him, and you're here with him. And I appreciate that. Maybe not for him. So that being said, welcome back to another episode of the Next Up Fantasy Show. It's your boy, Will, back again from a nice little hiatus that we had, but it's okay. We're getting deeper and deeper into the fantasy season. It's almost over. We got some revving up that we got to do. So with that being said, let's go ahead and first introduce each and every one of us here on the panel. Mr. I kept making fun of it, and I'm gonna keep saying it again for those watching on YouTube. I'm gonna first give it to Mr. Salad over here. So, Mr. Manny B. and Manny, what's good?
That's Dallas, and we won this week. Has the 49ers won this week? I don't think so. We potentially have the best quarterback in the league. Does the San Francisco 49ers have the best? I don't think so. Just call me. I think I'm going to rebrand to the white Eazy. Not the white, the Latin Eazy, because I think I like these glasses in the Dallas kit. I'm just the Walmart version of Eazy. I don't have the Oakland. I got the Dallas with the shades on.
You know what? I'm going to work
that
with that.
That was very random of me thinking I'm Eazy, by the way.
I mean, Compton's right down the street for me, at least. So
not me. Yeah, no. I'm the Hispanic version.
Lots of Hispanics in Compton. No,
SAE.
Definitely thank you for correcting yourself as a Latino version instead of a white one. So
I know.
That being said, Mr. Mike T, how you doing, man?
Hey, man, we're doing good. And first of all, I just want to say that we include everybody. Latinos, whites, African Americans, such as myself. We're here for everyone, for all.
Not Mike Lou.
So, not Mike Lou. Not for Buffalo fans. They're a different breed. They like to jump through tables and do all that crazy stuff that they do. Bills Mafia. But no, man, it's good being back like we never left. Texas is playing right now, though, so I have one eye here, one eye on my screen. But, yeah, man, let's do it. Let's have a good show. Oh, yeah, and Dak Prescott is definitely playing better than any quarterback in the league right now, just to throw that out there.
I'm not going to disagree with that. And two, let's just knock this out of the way. Yes or no, Dak for MVP?
Yes.
Mike?
As of right now? Or yes. Do I think he will win the MVP?
As of right now.
Yes.
I dig that. I don't know what, like, me personally, like, as far as others picking Patrick Mahomes, I can understand, but he gets by for right now. He's not really extreme like he used to, but like Dak is balling out of his mind because Tony Pollard can't run right now, apparently. So that being said, it's been a minute for all of us since we've been together, and like a week and a half or so, we were going to do something for Thanksgiving, but one thing led to another. The itis with the Thanksgiving food. So simply, I'm just going to ask this real quickly: how was your guys' Thanksgiving?
I mean, we won, right? And we beat the Commanders, so it's always a good thing. So, yeah, I got to spend time with my family. Got to spend a week away from my students. Not that I don't like my students, but I needed a reset, hit the reset button. And on top of that, we destroyed the Commanders. So it's always a good Thanksgiving for me when we can win our game and I can chill with the fam. So, yeah, it was good.
No doubt. Manny?
Just like Mike said, we beat the Commanders. I don't hate the Commanders as much as I hate the Eagles. But it's always good to destroy your division rival. 12 games, 3 wins. So can't beat it.
You say 12 games, 3 wins?
12 days, 3 wins for the
Cowboys. Okay, 12 days. I was like, wait, what?
Some say that Darren Bland was a little tired on Saturday because he had to play so many games in so many days. So hopefully that's the case, because if not, I'm a little worried.
I mean,
it's okay.
Bland got to pick on Thursday. So
DK Metcalf is amazing. Every once in a while, that's just going to happen to you playing in the league. Somebody's going to get you.
Yep.
It happens. Who's that dude? Rex Chapman scored like 25 on Jordan, right? Or something like that. I see this meme that they have out there. You couldn't stop Rex, right? So every once in a while, something like that will happen. I hadn't seen Geno Smith play that good all year. I've owned him in fantasy. He hadn't played like that all year. He was dropping dimes. So yeah, it happened. But I'm still a believer in Bland. But he did get torched the first half for sure.
First of all, in fairness, Rex Chapman was a monster back in the 90s. So
he wasn't messing with Jordan.
But he wasn't Jordan.
Cool.
He was good. He was good,
but not cool.
Jordan, but not Jordan good. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So shout out to Rex Chapman. But as far as like what happened with DK, that was just insane. Like I mean, I know it was somewhat padded with the 73-yard touchdown or whatnot, but like I know a lot of people like myself was hoping that he did at least something acceptable, but no, he stepped up, and just like what Mike said, I kind of wish that Geno was like this a little bit more consistently throughout the year. But with no Kenneth Walker, it kind of seemed like they didn't have a choice but to throw the ball a little bit more, and to be able to do so with a team as good as the Niners, or excuse me, with the Cowboys, maybe with the Niners too. But anyway, with the Cowboys, it's impressive to see what he did, but he's not going to be able to do that year round, unfortunately, even though we were expecting more out of him. But that being said, like just like what I mentioned in the beginning, this is going to be a short show. With that being said in the beginning, we're around the corner from the fantasy playoffs, the traditional version. So only 2 games left for the regular season. First of all, actually, let me go ahead and ask that in general. How are you guys doing with your leagues?
I'm doing great in every league except for my own. I'm doing well in your league. I'm doing well I played in 6 different leagues. So yeah, I'm doing well in every league. In every league, I'm like in contention. In 2 leagues, I'm in first place, but in our league, it was a battle just for me to not be in last. So I'm looking good, but just not in my own league, unfortunately.
Manny?
In 4 leagues, and 3 of them I'm in the playoffs. One of them I pretty much in first place. I'm leading the point 20 teams. So how this one's set up is you have a 10 league and a 10 league team, and it's separate drafts. But when playoffs come, you could play each other. You could have the same players. Right. This really makes the pot bigger. And I'm leading the point. I'm a point leader out of all 20 teams. So I'm pretty happy about that.
That's what's up. I'm in a total of 8 leagues this year, and the one that I'm officially out of. The one I'm officially out of is actually my league. The one that Mike knocked me out of officially from playoff contention. It was meant to be. I was a co-champ last year, but I guess this year it wasn't meant to be. I'm in a league, or I talked to you guys about it last year. I'm in a guillotine league, where it just chops down the last place point person for each week, and we're in the top 5 right now. So we're finally in the top 5, and the reason why I was gloating more about DK Metcalf was because I had him on that team, and he like catapulted me, and hopefully being able to at least stay for another week. Being a top 3 in that league would actually be fantastic if I can get there. But we're just gonna generally see. And for the leagues that I'm representing Next Up Fantasy on, there's a content creator league. I'm 4th in that one right now, and another one that I did with another podcast, we are currently in 2nd. So we're doing pretty good, and just like we said, we're right around the corner from the playoffs. So a lot of people have questions, a lot of people have thoughts, and a lot of people have inquiries as far as what to do for this week, or for the coming 2 weeks. So let's go ahead and pop up with the general question here. Like, last minute advice. Do you have any advice that you want to give out to anyone in regards to prepping for the playoffs or trying to get that final push into the playoffs?
I have something to say. And this might be for managers who think like me sometimes. I consider myself a pretty knowledgeable guy. And I really try to look for the best matchups, and I really try to see who kind of can get an advantage week to week. I want to say in the playoffs, and this just might be me, Manny and Will might not agree with me, but I want to say when you get to the playoffs, You don't want to do that. I say ride the people who've taken you to the playoffs. Don't get this fancy idea of, okay, I'm just going to randomly throw Raheed Shaheed in because I think he's going to have a great game. That kind of stuff can get you beat. So I think you should roll in there with the guys who have taken you there. And I think you should even do that regardless of certain matchups. Like if this dude's been balling for you all year and it's a bad matchup, I would still play him. I mean, if I have Christian McCaffrey, right, and they happen to be playing the Browns, which isn't going to happen, but let's say it was happening,
Right.
Theoretically. The Browns have a number one run defense. Am I really going to sit Christian McCaffrey in the playoffs because they have a run defense that's number one? No, I'm not. I'm going to start him because I drafted him, and I'm going to let my players play for me. So that's my only advice. Just watch out for trying to be too cute and trying to do crazy off-the-wall things. Just stick with the players who got you where you are.
Good call. Yeah, I mean, it's an extreme example with Christian McCaffrey, but I do agree with it.
Yeah.
There's I would probably tweak it a little bit, only not with like your major players, like some of the, like a good amount of the players that did well for you that you drafted in the first round and second round or whatnot. But like I would probably say like people that you may be starting that you ended up drafting, let's say in the 8th or 9th round, or if there's someone else that's on the waiver wire that ends up having a better matchup and things like that, I may consider tweaking it. Like let's say like right now on week 13 I have hella on one team I have hella injuries and hella people are that are off for the week. So like me putting in someone like, and this can happen in the playoffs. So like let's say me replacing someone that I would normally play like a Dalton Schultz who just so happens to be hurt, like putting in a Juwan Johnson instead because of his situation and things like that. There's just not that many people on the Saints right now where who you could pick up right now to take the load pretty much for the passing game. So like yes, there's still Alvin Kamara. So I guess this is like a bit of advice for this weekend as well. So like there's only Alvin Kamara. Taysom Hill, maybe a scary but interesting pickup this week since there's not really too many players on the Saints. So not only Juwan Johnson, but also take a look at A.T. Perry if they see that Shaheed, Michael Thomas, and Chris Olave may not be playing this week. So who else are you going to do? Who else are you going to run to? So is all I'm saying. So. Occasionally, I'm cool with that decision, Mike. Manny, your thoughts?
So when fantasy playoffs comes around, it's already happened to one player. Look at your team and get the RB run handcuffs for your team.
Mm-hmm.
If there's guys sitting on your bench that you don't see, like the bye weeks end next week, and you don't see it like you are going to put them ahead of any of your starters, go get your handcuffs. We've seen it this week. Jonathan Taylor with the hand surgery. Zach Moss was sitting out there on some leagues that you could have picked him up. I picked him up in our league. And now he's like a top 10 running back for this week. So go look at some running handcuffs. I got some that I guess I can bring up. Atlanta Falcons, Tyler Algier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Austin Eckler. They didn't do well with Josh Kelly, but Austin Eckler has some injury prone. If you have Austin Eckler and you're hoping that he's going to do well, go get Josh Kelly. If you have Kyron Williams, Royce Freeman actually came in and did really well last week. He's another one to just go pick up. I would say Damian Pierce because it seems like Devin Singletary took over. But if Devin Singletary gets hurt, Damian Pierce. Same with the Packers. Aaron Jones got hurt. Now you got A.J. Dillon. Lions, you won't be able to pick up either one. Mike would agree with this. If Tony Pollard goes out, Rico Dowdle is a starter. So that's one right there. Khalil Herbert and Roshan Johnson. Chuba Hubbard, Miles Sanders. If James Cook goes out, you better have Latavius Murray. So those are my kind of like just random thoughts on handcuffs.
There's one more I'm going to mention along with that list. Travis Etienne is a little bit hurt right now. Has a chest injury, I guess you could say. So it's not Tank Bigsby that you'll be picking up, which a lot of people have been picking up. Instead, it's going to be Dearness Johnson. If you remember him and how he played or whatnot, he's okay. He can get you by. He's more of a Damian Pierce type player, with a tad bit better pass catching. He's up for grabs. Javonte Williams and Samaje Perine is an option as well. Javonte Williams does tend to get hurt. I can't think of anyone else on top of my head because I don't think there's anyone else that's.
I got a good one because you guys brought him up.
Mm-hmm.
Mike doesn't like this guy because he believes that he's injury prone. He has gotten injured in the past a lot. Go pick up Elijah Mitchell. If Christian McCaffrey, especially if you have Christian McCaffrey, go get Elijah Mitchell.
And you might as well.
I don't remember ever saying I didn't like Elijah Mitchell.
No, Christian McCaffrey because he's injury prone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you think that Christian McCaffrey's injury prone and you're nervous because he hasn't had one in a while, go pick up Elijah Mitchell.
And you know what? I was also kind of looking at their playoff schedule sucks, but Devon Achane, like as much as we like him here, Raheem Mostert, as much as we like him here, think about Jeff Wilson as a bench stash. We don't know how well that injury is going to hold up as far as it being better for Achane. So in the event that like he goes down as well, like Jeff Wilson did flex worthy numbers, like not an RB3, not an RB2, but flex worthy numbers. So Jeff Wilson is an option as far as who you can pick up as well. So pretty much I guess I don't really have honestly I don't really have too much advice for the upcoming, like okay, if there's one, I'm going to say, as weird as it sounds, and I know that it's something that all of us do here, we like to stream a lot of defenses, but defense is actually everything in the playoffs. Like if you can find yourself a defense that has that has a good schedule for the remainder of the season, then by all means go ahead and pick them up. Like for example, like I was looking into, I know you guys are gonna maybe even talking about it, but Philly for one has a good schedule for the playoffs. Miami has a good schedule, and the teams that have been in those defenses that have been getting you by during the season, like Mike said, don't get too cute with them if they've been riding well. So that being said, Dallas, Baltimore, San Francisco hasn't really done that much, but they occasionally get everything, but it's not enough to the point where I would fully 100% trust them. I would even say to an extent the Jets, who's been playing pretty good defenses. It's just their offense sucks. Yeah, don't get too cute with what the defense is or with anyone that you choose when it comes to what to accept in the playoffs. So defenses can be everything to you as well. So that being said, are you guys feeling good for the playoffs? You guys ready?
I'm ready. In the leagues that I've contention in, I feel really good. The players who I feel like in every league this year, I kind of started slow, but I do feel like I have some momentum in a lot of leagues now, and I do feel good with the present state of what's going on. I'm a Cowboy fan, so a lot of my teams are tied into the success of the Cowboys. So I have a lot of CeeDee Lamb, a lot of stakes in CeeDee Lamb, a lot of stake in Dak Prescott. So right now they're playing great. As long as they can keep that up, I do feel great. Another team that I like, who I invested a lot in, was Cincinnati, and Burrow's hurt and Higgins is hurt, and so for the teams that had those players aren't doing so well, but I do feel good about my position in the playoffs, and I think in every league that I'm in, with the exception of the two that I'm in first place, but the other leagues that I'm in, I'm kind of like a dark horse because I know in one league I'm on a 6-game winning streak, and I don't think anybody really wants to play me right now, so I feel good.
And I'm kind of scared of your leagues in particular, Mike, because
you guys should be fearing Nathan. Love Hurts is not playing.
See, the scary part about your league is the fact that 8 people get in. So that being said, like the team that's in like 8th or 7th or even 6th, they're that dark horse that you're talking about.
Mhm.
So if you're first or second or even third, like those teams can still get beat in the first week of the playoffs, and then they'll be knocked out from teams like those.
I'm the dark horse.
Where are you
I'm
though?
the dark horse.
Are you though?
Watch out for this man. He's coming. He's
Yes.
coming for y'all.
I was at the bottom, and now I'm in 5th place.
What are you about to be after this week?
Probably 5th.
I paved the way for you, Manny. I took a lot of these dudes on the bottom out so that you
Thank
can
you.
rise. Okay, so
I have
got
more.
you.
Okay,
Got you.
I only have like 40 less points than you do, Will. And you're 10.
Again, it doesn't matter.
It does.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many points you get. It matters of when you get them.
Will,
You
guys are both right. You guys are both right. You're talking about from week to week matchup. Yes, it does matter when you get your points. But to me personally, I judge the validity of a team, like how good they really are, based on the point total. That's how I look at it. So
because if there's one thing I'm gonna give Manny credit for about the trade that he did was the Bears do have a decent schedule in the playoffs. That's why he did it. Okay. But as far as Justin Fields and DJ Moore, like that stack can help.
Going back next week
because DJ Moore is a better player with Justin Fields on there. Like,
and guess who's coming back?
Well, I mean, they're on a bye week, Manny.
But he's going back next week for just in time for playoffs.
Are you sure? Because he said he don't care about you guys' fantasy team.
He does.
He really cares about being
happy. I don't think any NFL player cares about fantasy. Let's be honest.
Me neither, honestly.
But yeah, I mean, it's good that he's actually coming back. But the question becomes like because you question about like why you're not where you want to be, and we talked about it over and over. It's because of the fact that he's not on there for the rest of your team. So I don't know. We'll see how you end up going this week, and not this week because
by the first
smashing all day.
You win by the first pick overall, or you die by the first pick overall. I always say it.
I mean, you always say you kind of don't have a choice.
I hate drafting first, but I mean it's beneficial. You can get whoever you want, But like you said, it's rough.
It is always rough, and it's crazy that that just happens. Like the first pick, there's something always wrong. If it's not him being injured, then it's them having lack of production. If it's lack of production, then it's just a multitude of things. So it's actually good that you are at least in the position where you are. And as far as the remainder of your team, as I'm looking at it right now, because you're definitely not starting Drake London and Deontay Johnson during the playoffs. So,
nope. DJ Moore, Justin Jefferson. My wide receiver core is really stacked. And if Justin Fields comes through, I'm tough to beat.
Are you trusting Breece Hall?
If he's healthy.
He's healthy,
if Aaron Rodgers comes back, Breece Hall is a monster.
Well, I need it. If Aaron Rodgers comes back, I'm winning Will's league for sure because Garrett Wilson's been great. But
actually, that was a question I wanted to talk about. With Aaron Rodgers coming back, or having the availability to practice and come back or whatnot, for the remainder of the year, it looks like that they're not even going to hop into the playoffs. Now, do you feel that him coming back in, will it be pertinent, like fantasy wise it can be, but like in real life, should he ride out the remainder of the season if he's able to play?
I think. Oh, go ahead, Manny. You got it.
I don't think he will, because I feel like he owes that team something because he didn't even play. He's the type of player that's like, I need to come back to play at least a little bit for this team. So they gave him basically everyone. They brought his boys over, Lazard, Cobb. Like, I feel like he owes it to them. And with fantasy-wise, like Mike was saying, Garrett Wilson looked like he was going to be a top receiver in the preseason with Aaron Rodgers. It looked like Devontae Adams-esque with Garrett Wilson. So if Aaron Rodgers comes back and he's healthy and he could get the ball to Garrett Wilson, and who has Garrett Wilson, it's going to be crazy.
I kind of I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about his health. Is that weird? I'm thinking
Not
about
at all.
I'm thinking like it'll be fantastic to at least see what you can do, like for the in the remainder of the year. But at the same time, like to get back this quickly and the type of injury that he has, like that's just insane. And especially with him being a little bit up there in age, I would kind of consider like holding himself for the remainder of the year and just pretty much have like a fresh start next year. But um, they paid the man, so
Essentially they're only 2 games out of the playoff wild card, and they play the Falcons, which is a beatable team. If they win this week, they could potentially only be a game out of the wild card.
so just the wild card.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs healthy, Jets team is dangerous with that defense.
I mean, personally, I think the Jets are crazy to bring him back early. That's just me, just from a health standpoint, and just knowing
Right.
how ligaments and the Achilles is a serious injury. I don't believe anybody's ever made it back this quickly.
Mhm.
And like you said, he has at his age, which makes you wonder and think if that's the smartest decision that the Jets can make. But that being said, if they decide to bring him back, he's definitely a better option than Tim Boyle or Zach Wilson. So it's really just depends on how Aaron feels. If he feels he can go, he's smart. I think he knows how to protect himself.
He's played
Yeah,
hurt before.
I wouldn't bring him back. If I was Robert Saleh, whatever, I wouldn't bring him back. I'd wait till next year. But people's jobs might be on the line. They might not have that ability to wait. It might be like, hey man, if I don't get this done, then X, Y, and Z are going to get fired. It's a business for them. For us, it's just fantasy and stuff, but it's a
Right.
business for them. So if they feel like they have a shot, and if the management is desperate enough to bring back Aaron Rodgers, I think he can protect himself, and it would be beneficial for the Garrett Wilson owners. But just me, if I own the team, I would shut it down until next year just to be on the safe side.
Well, regardless of what happens with Aaron Rodgers, like it's a miracle that they even had the availability for him to get healed the way that he did. Not sure how it happened, but it just happened, and Godspeed on the man. So hopefully,
and then before you go, the last 2 wild cards, they're teams that aren't that great. Like they could easily overtake them. You got the Browns with no quarterback, and then you have the Colts, which I called the Colts in the beginning of the year being decent. But they get overtaken. You also have the upcoming Broncos, Bills. I don't know what's going on with the Bills. So they're not even in the playoffs. And Bengals are ahead of them at 5-6 with no quarterback now. Raiders and Chargers have the same record as them. I don't know. I think there's a possibility that he comes back and they squeeze into the playoff.
I don't think he wants to see Cleveland, man. I don't want Myles Garrett after that, dude.
no,
With a bad Achilles, he might die. I don't know. Like I wouldn't want them, but I think the Colts could be somebody they could maybe beat for sure. With Gardner Minshew, and then they don't have their quarterback either. I could see them maybe getting the Colts. But yeah, it's tough because I don't know how mobile he is.
That's the thing, though. He's been hurt before, as in the Packers. I witnessed it. He played the Cowboys in the playoffs with a pretty much broken ankle, and the dude knew how to not get hit.
right.
You remember that game? I think that was the same game Dez caught, like the Dez caught it game.
I do, but that was like before Dak was even in the league. It's a lot. That's a long time ago. It was a long time.
Yeah, I mean he was younger then, but
Yeah.
I think he's smart, like you said, smart enough to release it and make sure not getting hit the worst. He's not gonna overdo it.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Facts. So that's a nice little conversation. So that being said, since we're talking about playoffs, since we're talking about players that are in and out, let's go ahead and get into our positional likes for this week. So I'll go ahead and knock mine out first, since I already have them like right here and now. So how I do it. It's always going to be two players that are more on the unexpected side, and one that's going to actually that I feel is actually going to do a little bit solid. So the first one that's going to do solid, I feel, is going to be Tua. Tua is going to have a field day to a team that just gave Dak 4 touchdowns in a game and 300 plus yards last week. So Tua against the Commanders, you can't say no to that, especially with them being healthy. No issues with Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle. Maybe get a rushing touchdown in there as well. I feel Tua is going to do pretty well. Top 10 for sure. Someone I want to consider looking at, like I said, the other two is kind of more out of pocket. So the first one I'm actually going to say is just because of how they've been playing lately, I'm going to go with Russell Wilson playing against Houston. And Russell Wilson, I can't explain what happened to Denver since their loss, since all those losses, including that 70-point or that 50-point loss against Miami, since we were just talking about them. But like they're having a bit of a resurgence, and just like what everyone else, like every other team that Manny said, like this is another team that's actually in the playoff hunt. So if they're gonna be in the hunt, then by all means, it looks like that Russell Wilson's going to do what he can to actually have a decent game this week against them. And the third player I'm going to go with is Derek Carr playing against Detroit. Now, again, like I talked about earlier, not sure who he's going to pass it to, but that defense is still bad enough that Carr should be able to like carve them out and actually have a decent game. So those are going to be my 3 for the week. Who's next? Who wants to go?
I'll go.
Go for it.
Okay.
All right, so wide receivers. My first one is like the kind of the sneaky one. Josh Downs for the Colts. They play the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans defense is on the secondary side. It is horrible. Josh Downs last week got 13 targets. So if you're in a PPR league, he gets like 5 targets. You're getting over 10 points, assuming that he gets the yards with the targets. But I don't know. I think Josh Downs would be a sneaky start if you need a kind of a wild play. Some leagues he's still on the waivers, so go pick him up. My 2 like big ones that are kind of like like brainers to start. I think the first one is going to be Brandon Ayuk. And I know Will is probably smiling the ear to ear because I'm saying a 49ers player, but Eagles ranked 31st overall in the secondary points against the second wide receiver. They are bad when it comes to guarding the wide receiver. I think Brandon Ayuk is going to have a game. And if you want to go sneakier, you could do Debo. You play both of them. So Debo, Brandon Ayuk. And lastly, I like Mike Evans against Carolina. Carolina Panthers, another defense that's pretty rough. Mike Evans seems to go off. So I like Mike Evans. He seems like the one that this is like one of his games where he gets 30 points. You know, those typical games. I just have a gut feeling Mike Evans might have that. So those are mine.
Before I get to hey guys. Before I get to Mike, since we were talking about Cleveland, what are your thoughts about Joe Flacco starting this Sunday?
Mark, you like him.
Joe Flacco's washed, but he's I mean, good luck. Good luck. I hope he plays well, but I'm no, doesn't move my needle.
So Joe Flacco loves to throw to his number 1 guy. So Amari Cooper is about to get a lot of targets.
You think so?
Might not be great, but he'll get some targets.
Flacco, man, he was great back. He was cool back in the day, But yeah, I understand why they did it. I do understand why they did it. It's almost kind of to me like when the Cowboys were looking for somebody and they would decide to go get a Andy Dalton or a
Kitna
or a Matt Castle. Yeah, Kitna. Actually, I liked Kitna though. Kitna played
was wild.
I liked it. Kitna was nice. I like it. Yeah. But Flacco, I don't know, man. He's long in the tooth, and like I said, it doesn't move the needle. But the funny thing about Joe Flacco is, I would not be surprised if he goes out there and doesn't play well. And by the same token, I would not be surprised if he goes out there and maybe throws for 250 and has 2 touchdowns. It could go either way. So
it's going to be insane if that actually ended up happening. So I would actually like to see that actually. Now that I think about it. All right, Mike, who you got?
All right, man. I'm gonna do mine short and sweet. So the two guys I like this week, and I kind of just went off the cuff with these. Um, I don't know if I necessarily have the stats like Will or Manny to really back up what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I'm me, so believe me. so, um, so the first player I like this week is Kyron Williams. I just feel like he does a lot for the Rams. They utilize him in lots of different ways. He looked great last week, and I know this week they are playing Cleveland, so it's not going to be quite as easy. Cleveland's defense is really, really good. But we were just talking about Joe Flacco. I think Cleveland's going to be punting the ball a lot. So I think that Kyron Williams and the Rams have a lot of opportunities to kind of do what they do. And it seems like he's really a focal point of the offense. I know Manny did mention Royce Freeman earlier. Royce Freeman, he'll probably get some love too. But I really, really like Kyron Williams. He's a different kind of player, really explosive, and they use him well. Beyond him, I'm going to go with my man Manny's boy. He just picked him up. Fire up Zach Moss. I think that the Zach Moss revival is coming. He played great for me when I owned him earlier in the year, and I think that he'll be hungry, and I think that I expect Zach Moss to have a good day. Like I said, in another team that will probably need to depend on that running game. I mean, I know Gardner Minshew likes to sling it, but I think that it's more I think that Zach Moss is more a reliable player than maybe anybody else on the team outside of Pittman, because Pittman's dependent on Minshew. So I would go with Zach Moss. So, yeah, Kyron Williams, Zach Moss, and good luck.
There it is. There you have it. The three people that we like per position, and or a couple of people. And
I'll only give you two. My bad.
Can I say something, Will? If you listen to us from the beginning, there's some key players that kind of took off that we've been saying we liked from the beginning of the year. And one of them is our tight end position, Mike. Me and Mike have been advocates for this guy, Ferguson. The dude is a monster, and I hope you guys grabbed him. He could have got him for free when we were talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the tight end that you should have got if you were listening.
Well, hopefully they'll listen to it a little bit more, and hopefully they'll create some success with that. So that being said, that's going to be our show for today.
Rashad White too is another player we were talking about.
Yeah, we talked about it.
We did.
But that's our show for today. Keep on watching this Texas game going on 28-14 right now. But yeah, let's just actually enjoy the Saturday and actually have a good one. So that being said, I'll just cut this short for Mike T.
What up, man? Love you guys. It was a great show. Hopefully you guys are, enjoying the content that we give you. And I hope everybody, or I wish everybody, I should say, luck as we get closer to the fantasy playoffs. And like I said, leave in the comments. Let us know who wins some championships. Let us know who we helped.
Another touchdown for Texas.
Let's go.
For Manny B. Manny.
Thank you, everyone, for being patient. We didn't have a show last week. It's Will's fault. So I do want to thank everyone. He didn't want to say it. He was sleeping after he ate his Thanksgiving dinner. Mike and I were waiting for like 2 hours. No excuses for Mike and I. We record during college football. I mean, what can we say? So we want to thank you guys.
No excuses and no messages from you guys saying, hey, what's going on? You guys did it yesterday. Anyway, for your boy Will, you guys have a good night, have a good morning, have a good afternoon, whatever you guys are listening, whatever you guys are watching. Let's see if someone shows up on the 8 o'clock show tomorrow. So we'll see. That's the real test.
Hey,
so,
that Sunday can be rough, man. We'll see.
I told you about this. I told you every week.
You tell me, man. It's just Saturday nights are wild in Southern California, man. Sunday's a rough one. I'm usually hungover. I'm trying to get it together, bro. So I'll try.
And Manny says no excuses. Anyway, this is your boy Will. You guys have a good night, good morning, good afternoon. Once again, see you guys tomorrow for the we'll just call it the wake up show or something like that. I don't know. We'll figure something out. I like that. Anyway, see you guys tomorrow, and you guys take care and keep on grinding and keep on laughing, Manny. All right, take care. Peace.